So I think in the early days it was Phoebe Merrick, who is a very well-known local historian.
And a brilliant character, isn't she?
And a great character. Dorothy Baverstock, who of course is chair,
Yeah.
and Sarah Saunders Davis, and we tried to sort of think about putting together a program of events to raise the money to commission a sculpture for the War Memorial Park. And I'm so pleased that we can almost touch the end now after a good few years, and what we've seen now is the whole evolution of the piece for the Memorial Park, and we just can't wait to finally have a chance to unveil the sculpture. It really has made the whole thing alive for a lot of people, particularly in Romsey, and it's great. You mentioned the involvement of lots of different groups from all ages, lots of tea, coffee and cakes.
It started because I was looking for something to do to commemorate the 1418 war. And it started in the year that I was the Mayor of Tess Valley, 2012. And we didn't quite have an idea of what it was going to be. But I'm also the Friends of the Memorial Park Chair. So we knew that, or I knew that, it was going to be in the park, whatever we did. So a small group got together. We decided we would explore all sorts of things. At the beginning, it wasn't necessarily going to be a statue. It could have been a memorial garden. It could have been anything. And like all groups, we had a great storming session where everybody put their pieces and ideas in. And eventually, Phoebe joined the group. Well, she joined it quite early on, but we then decided to combine it with the remount camp. So it sort of evolved that it would be a horse. And then Alex Hoare, who was the arts officer, found us Amy, well, she was local. We saw her work. I'd been to Crawley and seen some of her other work, and she came highly recommended. We'd looked at all sorts of artists. We had quite a collection of different pictures of people who had been and seen other horses and things. But I think the criteria was great, that it was local. In the last sort of month of being mayor, I decided I was going to raise £10,000 before I finished, and I actually raised £9,000. And once I'd finished being mayor, put a lot more energy into raising funds. And we've had grant from Tess Valley Borough Council, Hampshire County Council, the Town Council have given us some money as well. But the most valuable thing they've given us is the support with people like Judith to help us through with the secretarial work and so on. There's not been one negative comment. Everybody, I can't tell you, everybody has been so supportive, and the local people are amazing. They have just taken it to their heart, and people have raised money. Unveiling is going to be on the 3rd of July. We're having a lead up, of course, now, because part of the project has to be that the front of the War Memorial Park is redeveloped. And so that's actually started now and will be finished. I think it's probably in May. And then we've got to install the statue. We've been delighted to hear that the Princess Royal is coming to do the unveiling. When the horse is unveiled, we hope we'll have enough money left to hand it over to the Town Council, who will become the guardian of the horse, even though it's on Tess Valley land, and they insure it. Patrick got involved only about a year, 18 months ago. He wasn't on the initial committee, and it was through, I can't remember who, probably Sarah, knowing him. Patrick was an ideal person to be our patron, because he is Major General Patrick Cordingley, and he has a long service record with the army. And at that time as well, he was also going to be the president, the president of the Romsey Show. And so his term finished just earlier this year, and he chose to have the 1914-18 war theme for the 2014 show. Phoebe is an invaluable historical source of information. Nothing seems to have happened around Romsey that Phoebe hasn't investigated or has information on, and she has a massive amount of archive material in the area below the town hall. So it seemed logical when we were talking that she should become involved, because she can kind of link everything together, and she'd always been doing talks on the remount camp before. So that's when the remount camp and the Warhorse thing all came together. I cannot tell you how many people have become involved in this, and it's surprising. Even just this morning here, there were people coming from all over to see this particular exhibition, and when we were up at the remount camp, we had some people from Canada came, and it's just been simply amazing. I think Phoebe's also done a website, so that helps some people follow it, and we've had Phoebe write a book for us, so we have our own special book, and we've also done a progression of small books and leaflets which we've published as things have developed over the past 2 years. The last thing that we anticipate will be needed is a black tie dinner, which Patrick and his friend are organising, and we're hoping that will give us the last amount of money that we need for the Warhorse Fund to help the town council ensure that the horse does, ensure that if it's damaged, it will actually be mended again.
I'm Judith Giles. I'm the Romsey Town Clerk for Romsey Town Council. The Warhorse project came to my attention about 3 years ago, and we were asked as the Romsey Town Council, would we support the Warhorse project from an official capacity really. The Warhorse project needed a bank account. It needed a central person to be the liaison between all the different committee members, and the council agreed that I should take on this role and be the fulcrum person for the Warhorse committee, so that we hold the bank account. We have obviously got the funds there, but we've also got the tight procedures around actually holding public funds that people have donated. Councillor Dorothy Baverstock approached me with regards to this project. She was very keen that we should do something in Romsey to celebrate what the First World War soldiers did for Romsey and obviously for Great Britain. So she approached me, and we started off actually looking at what we could do to commemorate the First World War. We looked at many different ideas in the park for what were statues. Basically, would we prefer maybe to have a bench, or just really to confirm exactly what we would like? And it was Dorothy that approached me with regards to this, and hence we took it from there. I think because it was the horses that were such a big part of this area in the First World War, the fact that the camp was set up at our where the vets literally got the horses ready to go to war, and then obviously looked after them for the ones that came back. it was felt that the horse was a really good symbol for the town to commemorate because it has such a close relation to what happened in the area when the First World War took place. We looked at many different sculptresses, literally from a wide area, and Amy came to our mind because we actually got to look at some of her former works. She also was what we would call a local sculptress, and we came to the conclusion that we would be keen to use more of a local person from Hampshire rather than looking further afield. And she obviously had a passion about horses, which really appealed to us when we decided that it was a horse that we needed in Romsey, and that's why we approached Amy. Oh, it's been absolutely